Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, gangers. Lots to talk about. I have been so inconsistent and not have I haven't been on this too much, but lots to talk about. Um, yeah, we're just gonna make this quick. We're just gonna make this a pretty much a what I'm looking at. I will update you on the small account. I know we're still running that. I was very close to blowing it. I've been having kind of a spiral down, which may lead to some of my inconsistency, but um, yeah, we kind of needed that to get back and realize what our real strategy is going to be. So let's get into it. So just to be transparent, in my larger account, I'm down 60K, almost 70K year to date. Um, it's tough. It was only 5 bad trades. My win rate's still like 70%, but yeah, that's kind of what happens when you over risk, and yeah, you get burned. You get burned. So, give me just a second, and we'll get into what I'm looking at. Whoa, whoa, hold on. Okay. Um. Whoa. Okay. So let's start off with my strategy. So recently, I've been trying to kind of redo my strategy a little bit and redivest my allocation. So I'm doing the rule of 30s now. So basically, what I mean by that is every almost like 33% of the count goes towards a different thing. So right. So like a third of it goes to day trading, a third of it goes to swing trading, and then a third of it goes to leaps, right? Since we're starting with not too much capital, leaps are going to be the safest way for me to maximize basically having the volume of shares without having that volume, right? So let's get into it. There's a few. We'll go through like some of the leaps I'm looking at, and then some of the swings I'm looking at, and then yeah, we'll kind of go down the line. So as far as the leaps, MSTR I was looking at very viciously. You can see down here, it's about 2,000, has gone up quite a bit. Actually, went up about 33%. From about 20 bucks to $30. So for those who don't know, with options, that means this was a $2,000 contract that went to $3,000. Quick $1,000 trade within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So within a week. Within a week, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, let's look at the ones that I'm looking at now. So SoFi is one that I'm really interested in. As you can see, if we look on a higher time frame, we have been bouncing off this 100-day moving average for quite some while. We just bounced again, so I have a leap for the end of the year, basically just to return to this key level that we have had here, where it has resistance, kind of resistance there. You come over here, it's created support, and then it broke, right? We retested this 100-day moving average, and you can see there is some slowdown here. So what I'm looking for is basically if we break lower, no worries. I have a leap for about $3. So best case scenario, and this is for January. Yeah, I have it for January 2027. Oh my goodness. So let's actually pull that into range. Just about. Yeah. So that's what we're looking at there. I would love to see us really bounce off this 100-day moving average and come up. You can see that we're kind of forming this support here. I have volume profile, so you can see there's a lot of a lot of orders here, and that created support there. So I expect as of now we're edging higher. You can see we're creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. That will basically keep trickling up. And yeah, I would love to see us come all the way back. That would be beautiful. Next, what I'm looking at, Netflix. Yes, Mr. Netflix. Netflix looks beautiful to me, guys. If we look on a daily, we've come into this major. I should probably, let me make this. Can I make this white? Let me make this gold and way thicker. Oh, wrong thing. I think that was the Fibonacci. Hold on. Okay. That is a Fibonacci. But you can see this is a major point here. All right. This is the first Fibonacci retracement. I could do this one. This is probably a better one now. But I like this one because it does show like, hey, this is where we topped. Kind of checks out that golden bar. But yeah, guys, you can see we are testing not only this previous key level, which is a previous highs, but we also are testing the 200-day moving average here. So my thesis, especially since we're so oversold, you can see on the RSI here that we're very, very oversold. Okay, there, right? This is oversold. This is overbought. We are very much oversold. I went ahead and placed a leap. I do think that we can come back, especially when we look on the daily. You see that we have some gaps that need to be filled. One that's all the way up here. We have another one that is here, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think the chances of us trickling up are very high. Very, very high. Especially since I think it's time for rotation, especially away from a lot of these. But, okay, let's go into the next one. Keep it rolling. Oklo. Yes, I really love Oklo here. As you can see, it is... Oh, excuse me. Okay. You can see it's coming to a major trend for me here. It had to come down. We had this gap that it needs to be filled here. You can see I always keep this green dotted line to show what gaps need to be filled. But now we're hitting this huge trend line, right, from multiple touch points. This has been from bang, bang, bang. Okay. Let's go back. Pull this back down. Okay. Yeah, so you can see kind of what my thesis is here. I basically just played some leaps here. I have, and some long out swings. I basically have a contract out for September. Now, what I don't like is this kind of higher high, higher lows kind of situations. Not the best trade, honestly. Now that I look at it again, I think we can get a better entry. Actually, I know we can get a better entry. Yeah, actually, I do think we can get a better entry, but you can see we're at a critical point here. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is one that I think if we come any lower, it's too good not to buy. Yeah, just too good not to buy. Actually gonna close out. I actually bought that position, but see, this is why I'm glad we're doing this, because you can see this trickle up, trickle down, trickle up, right? I would like to see us break structure for us to hop in. Um, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I would like to see us break structure before we hop into anything. But I do have a contract for 2028, January 2028. Just a very, very, very far out leap. I just think with energy, having AI, having quantum come in, the massive demand for energy is going to be unparalleled. And the only thing that can create mass energy like that is going to be nuclear, right? Which brings in two stocks for me, Aqua being the top of them, and then SMR being another beta, maybe high growth stock. Here you can see what I thought my thesis was going to be. I think this played out. I wanted this to play out here, and it just rejected, so I'll go ahead and delete that. But this is a good buy point for some leaps on SMR. Still very, very high beta. I'm personally not too keen on it, but risk for $10. Look at that. It's only $5 for $500. For 2 years out, could bang, especially if quantum and things really do take off. Like I said, just high beta for me to hop in currently. Okay, continuing on, Nike still struggling. Watching this close, Nike, Disney, a lot of like human leisure stuff. NVO is also interesting here. I think as far as healthcare, this is, and pharmaceuticals, this is a great one to watch. So we'll watch this one closely. Okay, yeah, continuing on. We're not going to get too caught on Circle. Also high beta, very, very high beta. Hasn't broke structure yet for me to want to enter. I would need to break a structure for me to be like, okay, let me go ahead and play some trades. Hasn't been there yet, but the ones that I have seen, I don't know why they're not there. Okay. Talked about SoFi. This is a banger. ServiceNow. If we look on a weekly, this thing has literally just been oversold incredibly. If we go from top to bottom, thing was sold 60%. 60%. Which is insane. So we placed some leaps there. I do think if you look at their financials, they are still generating lots of cash, more cash than ever. You can see they're still growing, right? There was a lot of scare with the Anthropic scare, basically thinking that these services were just going to dissipate somehow, and I don't know why, but they're not going to go anywhere. So we are there for when they don't go anywhere. Let's see. Same with CRM is another one that if you guys are ever been in the corporate world, you know how most of these work off CRM, Okta, these kind of things. I do think this one's go. It is growing, right? This year had a little bit of slowdown from last year's growth, but that is okay. Like I said, I think a lot of it just came from, if you guys remember at the start of, 2020, this year's 2026. So, that's so crazy. I don't think it was this year. I think it was last year, but they had the whole DeepSeek scare where it was like, and a lot of things fell overnight. I don't think this one's going to go anywhere. I think this one actually has lots of potential to boom. If we look at its fixed range, it has also fallen a good 60%. It's crazy. So yeah, guys, what I've noticed is like go where no one else is, and typically the rotation comes a little bit later. So that's kind of what's happening here. I don't want to miss the rotation. I know it's going to come. And so basically we're just here for it whenever it does happen. I do think there is a long ways for it to come to break out a structure here, but as you can see, for a lot of my major touch points here, let's actually turn this red. I always do red with the dot. There we go. Yeah, we're just at a crucial level, like a really crucial level. So we went ahead and hopped in there. Very much a leap. We'll see what happens. As far as the swing, we went ahead and hopped in some AVGO. Quick trade here. You can see basically we are has finally broken structure. Right? Finally broken structure. Bounced off the 100-day moving average. So I do expect it to kind of bounce back. We have this contract out for the 17th. I did have a terrible entry actually not I did have a terrible entry. I was kind of impatient just buying everything this morning, wanting to make sure that I was present. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. I do expect it to come. If this turns into a red candle in the daily, that'd be great. But you can see we're really hitting this 100-day moving average. I would love to see it just bounce and go crazy. Maybe move our stop loss a little higher. Yeah, guys, definitely could have waited there. It's okay. It's okay. That's why we play far out, so we don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's not my best trade. What else? Leaps. We talked about Oracle. We talked about SoFi. We talked about Oklo, Netflix, AVGO as a quick trade. And yeah, guys, as far as like, those are like the main ones. Now, having that President Trump did announce that he wants to invest in quantum, we do have a small cap sector that would lead into quantum. I have TSSI on my watch list. That's for data. Quantum's going to need a massive amount of data. And then these stocks here are all, quantum related. So TE, energy source, more in the solar field. Solar, I still actually work for a solar company as well. And as much as I believe in the company, I think it's actually the largest company. I'm not going to say any names. But literally the largest company, residential solar company in the nation. You guys can do your research there. And yeah, they're still very undervalued. And so for me, for solar, I would need to see some real optimism. That's normally when we see a spike in the market. And yeah, I just don't see that. I just don't see that right now. So, but I do have TE as a watch there. TE, RGTI, INFQ is probably one of the highest ones, having that they have great service contracts with military personnel and things. So this one I don't have any leaps, but I did go ahead and start buying shares, which is great. We're in at a good price. I think we're in around $12, so we're basically like break even right now. But yeah, and QBTS, those are the ones that we are watching. So AXTI, I'm also watching. This is more photonics, which is huge as far as the communication with AI and quantum. Once again, we'll see what happens there, but yeah, guys, that's about it. Our goal is just to do like 30% a week, and we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, we also just want to make sure we are just capitalizing gains and also investing correctly. We don't want to miss out on some of these opportunities, and I definitely feel as if I have before. So just watching carefully, making sure we cross our T's, dot our I's, those kind of things. But that's as far as I have for today, guys. I will update you guys if I see any other plays, but this is the ode to myself. I am down horrendous this year. A total of 80K. Literally the worst loss I've ever had in my life. But it's not about how hard you fall. It's about how you can get back up, adapt, and strike back. So that's what we're doing, guys. Sorry for the inconsistency to myself. If people are watching this, great, cool. I hope you guys are, don't follow my trades unless, make your own trade thesis. I do obviously believe in my trades, but yeah, do what you feel is right. And yeah, guys, I will catch you all later.